Hey friend, welcome to the Daily Hope. My question for you today is, how much do you allow what other people think to determine what you do or don't do before the Lord? Today's great verses are in 2 Samuel chapter 6, verses 21 through 22. And David's wife is not very happy about his behavior. Here's a little bit of the context. David is leading a procession of God's people back into the city of David with the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant represented God's nearness and his presence, his desire to be with his people, that he be fighting for his people. It meant the world to David and to God's people to have this Ark in their city. So after a failed attempt at this a few months earlier, David is rejoicing and exuberant. He's so thrilled as he's coming down into close to his home, where his wife is watching him from the window. And he is just all out dancing and worshiping the Lord with all of his heart, his mind, his soul, his strength. He's just thrilled, and he's worshiping God for his goodness towards David and the people. His wife is standing off, watching this with a very judgmental, critical eye, and David's behavior is irking her. It's driving her nuts. So when he gets home, she gives him a mouthful about what she thinks. And his reply to her is this: "It was before the Lord who chose me rather than your father or anyone from his house when he appointed me ruler over the Lord's people Israel. I will celebrate before the Lord. I will become even more undignified than this, and I will be humiliated in my own eyes. But by these slave girls you spoke of, I will be held in honor." David knows that what he did with a pure heart before God, and he did from a place of honesty and gratefulness and celebration and thankfulness. It came from the place where God would desire it to come from. And Michal, his wife, who is Saul's daughter, doesn't understand it and doesn't like it and would rather him do what she approves of than what he would do before the Lord. It's fascinating because Saul's daughter, Michal, is exhibiting a bit of Saul's spirit here, because Saul was much more interested in what other people thought than what the Lord thought. But David is not that way. David knows that what he did before the Lord, and he continues to say, these are the things that I'm going to do no matter what you think of me. I will celebrate before the Lord. I will become even more undignified than this. I will be humiliated in my own eyes. And that actually won't lead to shame. It's going to lead to honor, because God honors those things. Us putting what God thinks above what other people think. So today I want you to take this statement and fill it in for yourself. I will blank before the Lord, regardless of what others think. Or maybe you need to put someone specifically in that others thing. But for me, it might be, I will rest before the Lord, regardless of what others think. Or I will be imperfect before the Lord, regardless of what others think. Or I will play before the Lord, regardless of what others think. Or even cooking. I'm very insecure about cooking. I will cook before the Lord, regardless of what others think. So I want you today to fill in that phrase for yourself. I will blank before the Lord, regardless of what others think, as a way to stay committed to honoring what he sees and what he desires above what others do.